and welcome to another Attack of Opportunity episode. Today we have Andrew. Are you there?
I'm here. Hi. I said hi.
All right, good. And we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons. What a surprise!
This thing working?
Yes, it is working.
Okay.
Today we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons and pop culture. Now roll the music. Dude, stop!
I had dairy.
Are you okay there, Andrew?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay, so today's episode, we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons and pop culture. Because believe it or not, you've all seen at least an episode of some favorite show or a movie, and it's all based in Dungeons and Dragons. Every single movie ever made is Dungeons and Dragons.
I think not only that, but it could be we've played so much Dungeons and Dragons, it's kind of hard to not disassociate the two. But
no,
also,
Andrew,
what?
Every movie has a director, which is a dungeon master, and a writer, who is Matt Mercer. So every movie equals Dungeons and Dragons.
Shit, you're right.
Of course, I'm right. But before we keep going with our story or episode, today I'm drinking my favorite beer of all time. You can find it anywhere, and it's delicious, and it's the best thing ever. Let's see if you can guess the name. Are you ready for this? I'm going to open it. Based on the sound, you have to guess what it is. Listen carefully. Here it goes.
Well, it sounds like a can.
Yeah, it was the second part to the sound. You didn't hear it?
Oh.
I'm drinking a Guinness.
Oh, okay.
Trout stout. You know, it has a little bowl inside of it with the nitrogen or whatever the hell.
Oh, I didn't hear like the food part.
Yeah. Wow. You call yourself a beer connoisseur. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't distinguish beers by sound.
So you're not on my level.
It's not.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't had Guinness, it's a very dark beer. It is from Ireland. This one is a stout. It's very, very nice and lovely for the winter because it's a nice, thick beer, and it's for the manly man and his dinner.
That's all right.
Wow, Andrew. Why you do this to me?
I mean, I'm not much of a Guinness guy. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. All right, well, Andrew, let's get this started because people are not here to listen to your face.
We're not going to talk about the beer I'm having.
You having a beer? I thought you were going. You had a dry house.
Oh. No, that kind of fell apart this weekend.
It was a rough weekend. Okay, so what are you drinking?
I'm having a local brew. I'm having a Yingling.
Wow.
Mm.
That's it? Just a Yingling?
Oh, well, yeah.
Wow.
You can't go wrong. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is true. A Yingling is actually one of the best beers you can find in any restaurant in Florida.
Mm.
Like, why would you get a Bud Light or like a Corona or whatever? Like, you're basic as fuck if you do that.
And the best part is, it's always like dirt cheap.
Yeah, and it's so good.
So,
I mean, we've been to a restaurant that you can buy the pitcher for like $5.
Oh yeah, we went to to save money, of course. We went to an Applebee's to get drunk, and the Yinglings were buy one get one. Yep. I'm not going to say no to that. You know, we're trying to have a good time, but we're on a budget, so you know.
For all you folks out there from Germany and Canada, you guys have really good beers. Well, we have Yingling, and it's a very good beer compared to most American beers out there.
A Canadian beer, now that I think about it.
You haven't had a Canadian beer?
Never.
They all have maple syrup.
Ew, maybe that's why I haven't had one.
No, I'm kidding. I'm just being racist. I'm sorry, Canada. You're a great nation.
They all have maple syrup, and they're made with that like Canadian bacon. You know what I'm talking about?
You mean ham?
No, it's not ham. There's a difference.
It's called prosciutto.
Ooh, I love prosciutto.
Yeah. All right. So this is
Speaking
not
of
a beer
prosciutto-
podcast, Andrew.
Speaking of prosciutto, I saw the latest episode
God.
of Mindhunter.
No, we're not talking about Mindhunter.
God damn it. Fine.
No, Andrew. Stop. This is going to be a lighthearted, fun episode. We want people to stick around.
It's going to be a lighthearted, low-calorie beer. I mean, shit.
All right.
I actually meant to make a pun there, but I fucked it up.
It's okay. You're terrible at everything.
I meant to say it's supposed to be lighthearted and low-calorie, like the beer I'm drinking, but I screwed it up.
Yinglings are not low calorie, are they?
Well, I'm drinking a Yingling Light.
Oh, gross.
Actually, it tastes exactly the same as the Yingling.
My calories for this one stout is 125.
It's probably like 500 calories.
I just said 125. You weren't even listening.
Oh,
It's actually better than skim milk.
well, see, I'm getting ready for my summer bod, so that's why I'm
That's gonna take a couple summers.
You're so right.
And the only reason I know is because I'm in the same boat.
God damn, Jose, that was fucking brutal.
Sorry, I've been drinking.
You get like this when you drink, Jose.
We talked about it. So what is this? So what is this podcast about?
Oh fucking no. It's about everything. Yeah, it's about nothing.
Thank you for listening. And if you stuck around for the last like 15 minutes of us talking shit about nothing, here's the actual content at D&D and Pop Culture. Andrew, take it away.
Play the outro music.
That was the intro. Oh shit.
Oh God.
Maybe drinking and doing a podcast is not such a good idea.
Really? Okay, so this is probably all right. Getting back on topic. Getting back on topic. This is probably something that like every person who's like been a fan of D&D has probably like had a little thought experiment once in their life where they'll watch a movie or something like that and be like, oh, this guy is like a monk or this guy is like a rogue or something like that. Where especially if you watch like the Avengers or something, you could probably like parse out which Avenger is which class and stuff like that. Oh, so we're just essentially taking this discussion out into the internet.
Because nobody has ever talked about this ever.
This is a completely original idea, and we're going to trademark it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will be on the lookout for any YouTube channels that talk about this kind of stuff, and I will be issuing cease and desist orders.
No, don't do that. It's okay. They can do the same idea that they just have to pay us in order to do that.
A hefty royalty. It's like something like what, 89%?
Oh, I was thinking 85, but yeah, 89 is fine too.
So anyways, because I have a lawyer for that. Oh God. Okay, so all right, so you want to help kick this off?
Me?
Yes, because this is your idea.
Okay, all right. So this all came around because I worked at a cool place and we decided to play D&D after work, and they allowed us to do that in their big conference room. And we had session 0, which we talk about like the party and like the things we're gonna be, the roles we're gonna take, and all that. And we ended up with a Ranger Gloomstalker. We ended up with a Barbarian Sialot or Sialot, or however you say that. And then I picked up a Cleric, a Cleric Life Domain. And after we were done, we were talking about the Ranger will be this, and somebody put like a GIF of like a movie, and then the Sialot Barbarian will be this, and I'm like, oh yeah, the Cleric is like Judge Dredd. But then like I started thinking, like Judge Dredd is not really a cleric. He's more of a paladin. and it actually brought the question of like which fictional characters in movies and pop culture represent best each class, because and we get to this later on, but I had a really hard time finding a cleric um to compare, right? Because like we already made our characters, but when you're thinking of making a new character, usually the first thing you think about is like, you know movies and shows that you've seen recently, and like what what would be a good idea if you want to play like a really cool hero that you saw somewhere and stuff like that. So the question I propose is, for each class, Andrew and I will come up with a fictional character in pop culture that represents the class the best.
Now, now,
um
now, keep in mind, we didn't discuss this,
no, we did
so
not.
this is gonna be spontaneous.
Yes, it will be, because I have my mind blank right now. So Andrew, you start with a fighter in pop culture.
Okay, so to me, the perfect fighter in pop culture is probably Captain America. Now, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, Captain America is more of a paladin because he's lawful good, whatnot." But yeah, think about it. He doesn't have superpowers per se. Like he can't like shoot beams of light out of his eyes or anything like that. He can't fly. The only thing, he's just really strong. He's really fast. He doesn't really get superpowers until like end game, quote unquote superpowers, and even then, that's like a magical item.
Right.
But he has multi attack, and he knows a lot of strategy and stuff like that. Essentially, to me, Captain America is a 5e battle master fighter with a higher than normal charisma. If anything, if anything, he's capped out all of his stats. No pun intended. He's capped out all of his stats except for like intelligence and wisdom, because he does make some pretty stupid, mistakes sometimes.
Right. But like, do you think that build has a shield? What, shield master feat? Is that what it's called? The one that the Howard has.
Of course, yeah. Are you kidding me? It's probably something where it's like a homebrew weapon where it's like, I'll give you this shield and it does bludgeoning damage instead of like, you get what I'm saying? Where you can use the shield as a shield and also a weapon. Like, yeah, of course you can. I mean, really, when you think about it, all you gotta do is just have the player be like, "Hey, can I use the shield as a weapon?" Yeah, sure. Boom, you got Captain America right there.
Right. Because, I mean, and the campaign we're doing right now with Right in the Wall, aka Howard, he proved that having a shield is badass as hell, because he's been dominating the field like hardcore.
Well, it's not even just having a shield. It's having a shield with tactics.
Yes, he knows how to use it. He's essentially Captain America.
Yeah. So to me, and the thing about it is that whenever I look up Captain America at D&D, everybody's like, "Oh, he's a paladin." But I'm like, no, I don't think so. To me, he seemed like the perfect fighter. So
yeah, no, I can agree with that 100%. So you ready for mine?
Shoot, let's hear it.
Okay, so this is gonna be because okay, I'm gonna go for it. Worf from Star Trek.
Oh yes. Say no more.
Because this dude just uses whatever weapons around, and he's good at it.
He's proficient with all weapons.
Yes, which is what makes a fighter a fighter. Like that's the only difference between fighter paladins and rangers. The fighter can use anything. Yeah,
no, definitely. And also the thing about Worf is that he never loses his cool, which is the big difference between a fighter and a barbarian. Like,
yep, he's always like calm and collected.
Yeah, I mean he does get pumped up. There is a difference between getting pumped up and flying into a rage. But yeah, no, I would definitely say he's definitely a fighter.
How about somebody like Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman. That's actually,
she uses a shield. She has a lasso, whip, whatever. It's not a whip; it's a lasso. But she mainly her stuff is very similar to Captain America. Like she hits things, and she's good at it. She also has a sword.
I would say she would probably be like, but she can fly.
What?
She can fly. Well, certain interpretations of Wonder Woman says she can fly.
Right.
So I would definitely say she's probably like an Azimar fighter with magic items because
I can see that. Yeah.
Because the lasso is definitely a magic item. That's not her superpower. You know what I'm saying?
Well, wasn't there an item in Tomb of Annihilation with it was bracers of archery?
Yes.
Yeah, that could be one of them.
But her bracers were more like bracers of like +1 armor or something like that. So
She can deflect bullets. That's all I'm saying.
So, let's see. I know
How about a paladin?
A paladin. Now. Okay. Hold on. I have to ask you a question. With or without divine powers? I have an example for both.
Shoot both.
Okay. So without divine powers, I would say King Theoden from Lord of the Rings. Only because that speech before the speech that he says, where he's telling his riders to ride out to death and whatnot, is like pure charisma and stuff like that. Like that is a natural 20 on her persuasion check. And you get what I'm saying? And he has the heavy armor and he's riding in the battle and he's got all these men behind him. Even though it doesn't mechanically fit, that is thematically what a paladin looks like to me. Like a man that is leading a charge into battle, knowing that they are riding into the jaws of hell. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Now, with powers, I would say Beric Dondarrion from A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones, depending on which source of media that you consumed. Because the dude believes in a god, has a magic weapon, and can revive people through the use of his god. If that's not a paladin, I don't know what is. Just blow your mind?
You just blew my mind. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Exactly. like when I came across, I was like, holy shit. Wait. He's a paladin. Like he's 100% a paladin.
Oh man. Dude. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, how about this? How about would Darth Vader be a paladin?
Yes, Darth Vader would 100% be a paladin. I was just thinking that too.
Because he's like, he's like a big, like a dark paladin. He has the sword. He commands that like, the strength with his troops, and he's intimidating as hell. He's very like,
and he has powers.
Yeah, exactly. Huh?
Because
Darth
think about
Vader.
it. Darth Vader, he's not fast.
No, he's not.
He's brutally strong, and he can take hits after hits.
Yep. See.
Yeah, we're.
I gotta make a dark paladin named Vader Darth because I'm very good with names.
You need to name him Dark Vader.
No, Varth Dater.
Yes, of the Worcestershire of Vader.
I'm so good. Yes, I was thinking of Darth Vader, but I wasn't sure if it actually felt like more into a paladin or a like a dark cleric.
Oh no, he's definitely a paladin.
You don't think he would be like a yeah, no, he definitely leans more into like a vengeance. Paladin of the Order of Vengeance. Oh, Oath of Vengeance.
Because I mean, you got to think about it. He's still offensive based, which paladins. I mean, paladins do have a little bit of recovery. Like they can cure wounds and stuff like that and lay on hands, but they're not the healer. They're just someone to patch you up, get you back on the battlefield, and then they'll be right behind you.
Right
in the charge.
Right. Yeah. No. All right. So what's next on the list?
Artificer.
Oh man, I put this one last minute.
Okay, that's fine. I actually have two examples.
All right. What is it?
Well, they're both from Marvel, so hear me out.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So my first one is pretty obvious. I would say Rocket Raccoon is an artificer.
Yes, yes, it is.
Because the dude can make stuff on the fly. and he knows how to use them. And he's not the greatest in combat, but he can hold his own. And second, I would say arguably, or did I pronounce that right? Arguably, would probably be Iron Man to a lesser degree. Where he's like a tinkerer and he's constantly working on his stuff, and he has shown abilities to make items on the fly.
On the fly, yeah.
Yeah.
But wouldn't he be more a little bit more of a paladin as well?
I don't see him as more of a paladin because I would say Thor is probably more of a paladin than Iron Man is.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you on that one.
Because like I've always seen Iron Man, like I'm not saying he doesn't hold his own in a fight, but he's definitely more of the ranged using gadgets kind of, like weapons type, not so much like any time where he goes like toe to toe with somebody, it always ends up bad for him. Like that's kind of used to emphasize how bad the fight's going, that he's in a fist fight with somebody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. Man,
so,
it sucks because I was also thinking of like Rocket Raccoon too.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take your.
No. Because I put that last minute, so I was just like I'm drawing blanks right now. This beer is a good beer.
That's how you know it's beer, because you can't think.
Yeah, man. Who else? What else would be a good artificer? Because I've seen so many. Who?
MacGyver.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, the dude made a stick of dynamite with 2 squirrels, an ink pen, and some string. So,
no, he did not.
No, he didn't. But okay. you believed it for a second, didn't you?
I questioned it for like a split second right there. Okay. Well, I'll come back to Artificer because it has to marinate in the background.
I mean, really, when you think about it, anything in popular culture that has like a tinkerer, like a clockmaker or something like that, like technically they're kind of like an artificer. Like is like what's it? I know we said we weren't using video game examples. Shit, never mind. That's way too easy. But I guess like Geppetto would be like an artificer. You made a kid out of wood.
Yeah. Don't we all make kids out of wood though?
This is family friendly.
We just got taken down. Thanks.
Yep. Just got censored.
Yeah, no, dude. I feel like I have so many, but I can't think of any right now because I'm an idiot. But I think that Rocket Raccoon is definitely a great example of an artificer because like he can freaking. I mean, that scene in when they're escaping, he's just like building everything like right as he gets the parts. That represents what an artificer is.
I mean, the fact that he like made a bomb out of batteries. Like.
Yeah. All right. What's next on the list?
Next on the list.
Rouge.
Rouge. That's a color.
Rouge. Rogue. I always spell it wrong.
Right, I'll let you go first on this one.
A rogue. The first thing that comes to my mind is Batman.
Of course.
But it's like a rogue with like really high strength.
I would argue
and like one level of monk.
Yeah, I was actually going to say I would argue that Batman is probably like a monk that dipped into rogue a bit.
Right. Like, dude, you didn't need that, but yeah, a little overpowered.
Had to get that flurry of blows. So,
How about Sherlock Holmes,
really,
like an Inquisitor rogue?
I think so.
Yeah, from Senator's Guide to Everything. Wait, was it Senator? Yeah, Senator.
I never thought about that.
Because if you think about it, like it's intelligence based, and it's all about like in, being inquisitive and like asking questions and figuring out things. Doing those really high rolls and role playing somebody who just like see the numbers and sees everything connected.
Wow, I never thought. I never put two and two together like that. Which is ironic because we're talking about Sherlock Holmes.
There you go. How about you? Do you have one?
I would say probably the first thing that comes to my mind whenever you say rogue, and this is a bit weird, but follow me. First time, or whenever I hear rogue, the first thing that pops in my mind is Indiana Jones.
Really? Indiana Jones?
The dude goes in, steals rare artifacts, gets out, 9 times out of 10, comes out alive, and undetected and stuff like that. He's sneaky. He definitely knows how to sneak around, I mean, to me, he seems like a rogue, not a super successful one. He's not like a I am the night kind of guy.
Right.
But that seems like a rogue to me.
Because the first thing that comes to mind is a ranger, just because of his traveling and adventures and adventuring. But I think you're right, because he doesn't really he uses his fists most of the time, and his bullets when he's tired.
Right. Or or suffering from dysentery, like in that scene.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I can see that.
But also, I mean, I think what to provide the argument against him being a ranger is that you don't really see him surviving in the wilderness.
That's true. He's always falling and almost dying anyways.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, like it's just more like I guess for lack of a better term, like a literary example, where it's like he ticks all the boxes. He's not particularly good at it, but he ticks all the boxes of being a rogue. Also, probably I want to say Robin Hood. Not entirely sure.
Isn't he more of a ranger?
Oh, you know what? He might be. I think
because he actually does use bow and arrow. He's traveling all the time, and yeah, he has like roguish things because he steals from the rich and gives to the poor. But that could be more of like a role playing thing.
Is true. He could be a ranger with the folk hero background.
Yeah, because rogues, if you remember, they're a little bit more selfish than that. I don't think they will be given to the poor.
Wesley from Princess Bride.
Oh yes, Inigo Montoya or whatever the hell his name.
Dude, fucking James Bond.
Oh shit. Yeah.
He's so much of a rogue that we forgot about him.
Man, he's good.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh shit. Oh, how about this one? How about this one? Black Widow.
Black Widow, exactly. The two best examples of an assassin rogue there is.
Johnny English.
Well, I mean, and
that'd be a great rogue with like if there was a stat for luck, you'll have it maxed out.
Oh god, I wish there was a stat for luck. That would be so awesome.
Dexterity 0.
Luck 20.
There's so many rogues. Who else will be a nice rogue?
Let's see. A lot of people say Han Solo. I'm not entirely sure about that.
I see him a little bit more of like a fighter.
Yeah, I see him. I see him as more of a fighter that just has like 14 charisma, like just enough to like grease some palms, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Okay. How about? Okay. Where would you put somebody like? And I know this is kind of like outside of like the game rules, but like somebody like John Wick. He's definitely a rogue.
Oh, I don't think he's a rogue. I actually
No?
thought about this. No, I thought about this because I love John Wick. I think this is going to get real specific, but hear me out here.
Oh God, you already built a character sheet, didn't you?
I did. John Wick is a monk that uses the Kensai subclass, which allows him to use martial weapons as monk weapons. Think about it, because if he's proficient with all martial weapons, and he can definitely hold himself up in a fist fight. He killed a guy with a book, for fuck's sake. I mean,
Yeah.
with a fucking pencil.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, no, he's definitely a Kensai monk.
I just because assassin and always working in the dark, and it's the guy you sent to kill the Baba Yaga.
But he's an assassin, but he's also not particularly sneaky. Because every time he goes to assassinate somebody, he always has like a head count of like 50 something people.
Okay, you're right. I take it back.
So I mean
he's an assassin in the way that like he just kills everybody around.
Yeah, he's
and
like
also the target.
He's like there were no witnesses because I did not leave any witnesses.
All right, okay, fine. He's not a rogue. He's a freaking monk.
I would say probably to like a more lighthearted degree of rogue. I would say like Aladdin. He's probably a rogue. You know?
Okay. With an urchin background.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. He's literally called a street rat.
Street rat. All right. So here's a challenge for you.
Watch out! That monkey's got a sword.
A cleric.
I see. Here's the thing. I hate to admit this. I broke on this one because I was like, I actually Googled D&D clerics in popular culture because there's always like that list, you know.
Right.
There's always that list of people like, oh, well, these are the rogues that are in popular culture, and these are the fighters, and blah 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 blah. You know, pretty much the stuff that we went over.
Yeah.
Clerics came up with nothing. I found nothing that nails a cleric.
Like the actual holy man. I know exactly what you're talking about because I spent like 2 hours at work trying to figure it out. What they get, especially specifically a life cleric. It's so hard to pinpoint.
It's such when you really think about it, it's such a niche thing because it is a holy man that uses holy powers to heal people.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, to heal, you're right. Fuck.
Yeah. And you would think that would be easy to find, but it's not. So the only thing I can come up with whenever I think of clerics in terms of like characters in popular culture, I always come up with like medics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. Who will be a medic? A medic.
Well, the first thing that always pops in my head is Hawkeye from MASH. Like to me,
you're gonna have to help me out because I've never seen Smash.
Okay, so MASH was a TV show in I want to say mid 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It was filmed during the end of the Vietnam War, but it was about a MASH unit, which is a medic unit. It's like a military hospital. It was about a military hospital that takes place in the Korean War. And it was a comedy show, but it was like one of the first comedy shows where it was funny, but it also dealt with a lot of heavy topics. You know what I'm saying? You know, because it's about war. Yeah. It aired in 1972, so this is right when the Vietnam War was starting to wind down. But arguably the main character was Hawkeye, who is a really good medic. But never mind. The Vietnam War ended in 1975. Okay, so it was kind of starting to wind down. So Hawkeye's a medic, and he's really good at healing, and everyone recognizes that he's really good at it. However, he has a slew of his own problems and stuff like that. Like he uses alcohol as like a coping mechanism, and he also uses humor as a coping mechanism. He's that guy that has like the dark sense of humor, you know, kind of thing. But the thing about it is, he's really good at what he does. So to me, he's like a cleric with like I would say like 12 or 13 in charisma. You know, like enough to make you crack a smile and stuff like that. But he's not going to lean on that. He's good at what he does. So
I got one for you.
let's hear it.
Baby Yoda.
All right.
He heals with the Force, which is like a holy thing or whatever. I really hope you've seen that episode.
I finished the series.
Okay, good. Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. No.
No, I wouldn't. No. Well,
A
because
baby healer. He's like healing a cleric in training.
maybe. Well, I mean, he does use.
All right, here's another one. You ready for this one? Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting.
Rick.
Is that his name? I can't remember the name of the character.
I hold on.
Or Patch Adams. Pick your poison.
Patch Adams.
That'd be a great cleric.
I'm pretty sure someone's already done that. I wouldn't be really surprised.
Patch Adams cleric subclass.
Okay. So explain the Good Will Hunting.
Okay, well, he's a strong father-like figure, which is what I always imagine clerics as, right? Like a very an older, wiser man who's been around, or woman, and likes to heal and take care of people. And even though he's not healing like actual cuts and bruises, he's healing you mentally, and probably in like the best way possible, which is like getting to know you and acknowledging you. So I don't know. It's just he doesn't fight, but he's a healer. Help me out here, Andrew.
No, because see that's the problem. Like I'm coming up with a blank here.
I mean, because you can think, because okay, so let's see. So the clerics. How about the guy from, and I can't remember the name of the character from I can't remember the name of the movie now. The one with the with Christian Bale, and he's like he's a cleric, but he does like gun fu. You know what I'm talking about?
Equilibrium?
Equilibrium, yeah. He's not necessarily like a life cleric, but he's like at the very least, what's the name of the cleric that hits things? A war cleric.
Cleric. What's that one cleric that's really good in war? Shit.
The war cleric. Whatever. Okay, I'm trying.
No, I would argue. Okay. I would argue that the classic version of Van Helsing is a cleric.
What do you mean by the classic version?
The one that's in the book.
Oh, I haven't.
And Bram Stoker, well, because in Bram Stoker's Dracula, Van Helsing is an old man who's a learned professor, but he also believes in his Catholicism, and he uses that as a weapon against Dracula. So I would kind of argue that he's a cleric, more offensive based, obviously. But I mean, he is like a doctor and stuff like that. And
are you ready?
Sure.
Have you seen the movie? What's the name of the movie? Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes. Well, no, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Desmond does. He's in war. He fights, but he doesn't want to kill things, and he's like rescuing people and healing them.
The power of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. How about that?
That's the thing. That he doesn't like. It's not like Jesus flows through his fingertips to heal the people.
Andrew, I mean, you don't know that. He gave him the strength to get those people down from that ridge. Okay.
I mean, we can argue the theological side of this all we want.
This is gonna be a 3-hour-long episode. Sorry, guys.
A talk of opportunity talks about clerics.
But see what I'm talking about? It's so hard to find like an actual like good example, like a good entertaining example of like an actual cleric?
Because I think
Is there any? Okay, so let's think. What's the biggest like franchise out there right now? Right, that everybody knows, Avengers. Is there anybody in the Avengers that actually proactively heals someone using their faith, or even if because most movies try to stay away from religion stuff. Let's say instead of faith, like a force or like a power, or some sort of like. Is there anybody that actually heals in the movie Avengers? Because I don't know, I know very little about the comics, and even then, I don't think there's like an actual healer person.
no, there's really not. There's really never anybody that actually heals. Like the biggest thing that they use to heal themselves in the first Avengers movie is shawarma.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's, I mean, I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Kakarot, and if you remember Dende, the little guy, the little green guy that like heals.
I mean, if we forego the limitations that we put upon ourselves, where we're not going to use video game examples, then the floodgates open up.
No,
And
well, it's not a video game; it's an anime.
but I'm saying the problem with it is that I think
there's not a good way to like show a healer, a support character in current media. I think that's the problem.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to get to, is that because they're a support character, they're going to be in the background. Like a healer is a support. Like very very rarely does a healer become the forefront of the story. Like Hacksaw Ridge is the exception, not the rule. And what's up?
No, go ahead.
Well, and I think the reason why I don't want to use like video game examples is because then you can just say, oh, like Aerith from Final Fantasy VII or Yuna from Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that. Because then it's not so much about the character, it's about the role they play. You know what I'm saying? Like in the party dynamic. So I mean, Yuna would be like the perfect example of a cleric. But
yeah, but it's okay. Let's not do video games. You're right. That's too easy. So for now, let's put a pin on that. We'll come back to it if anything ever we think of anything.
Never come back to this.
Let's move to the next class. Okay, sorcerer.
Okay, sorcerer. Literally everybody in Hogwarts is a sorcerer.
No, they're wizards.
No. That is stupid, and I will argue it till the day I die. No, they are. He
says you're a wizard, Harry. Yeah, not a sorcerer.
Yeah, and Hagrid is canonically stupid.
No, he's not. Have you read the books? He's a sweetheart.
No, that being nice does not necessitate being smart.
Oh, he's not nice. He can be mean when he has to be. Wait, is he a cleric? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he's a druid.
Yeah, he's definitely a druid. Yeah, no. I know where you're coming from because yes,
because they are born with their powers. They are sorcerers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally anybody in X-Men is a sorcerer.
Right. No, but because wizards like they study the magic, but these guys, if they don't study the magic, they can still use it out of control. Well, they can still use it in the Harry Potter world, the wizarding world.
That's literally the whole point of the wild magic subclass of a sorcerer, is that they're not in control. Well, I mean, they are to a certain degree, but sometimes the reins kind of get out a little bit.
Right. So, yeah, but they weren't like human, and then they learned it. They were burned with it. So, okay, if we take the whole wizarding world out of it, and we want like one example of actually a good sorcerer, who would you pick?
See, taking the wizarding world out of it, and it's a sorcerer, someone that was born with their powers. Oh, jeez.
Vision.
Vision?
Yeah.
Why?
He was born with the powers.
He's a weapon.
He was made, and he has a heart and a soul.
So he's a warforged sorcerer.
Oh no, the stone that he has is a mind stone, right?
You wanna like. Oh shit! Wait, he's got the wrong stone.
Yeah, Vision has powers, and he was born with them.
Would Scarlet Witch be a sorcerer?
Yes, she would be a sorcerer. She did
But
not
she
study
was
that.
born with it, right?
I think in some versions of her, she was born. And I think in the movie in the MCU, they were given to her by the stone. But she's, I think she's known for she was actually like a mutant with those powers.
Yeah, because in the comic book, she's a mutant. Which
a tempest sorcerer will be Storm, right?
Yes, a Tempest sorcerer would definitely be Storm. Or no, wait, is it? Is it Tempest? I thought it was like Storm Spirit or something like that. Hold on.
Probably.
Well, let me look it up. Not on the computer, so that my voice doesn't get all low and eerie.
Yeah. Pull out your books and flip through the pages so I can hear him. Ooh. Oh wait, no, I think he'll be more of a druid. Never mind. I was thinking of Howl's Moving Castle. Howl. But he transforms, right? No, he's a sorcerer. He just has the magic to transform, right?
I'd never seen Howl's Moving Castle.
Why am I even talking to you?
You haven't seen MASH. I don't want to hear it.
I was not born in the States, okay?
I was not born in Japan. So.
I wasn't either, and I've seen Howl's Moving Castle.
You really want to have this argument? You have one beer, young man, and this is how you act.
We don't have time for that.
Phoenix sorcery? No. I would definitely say Phoenix is a sorcerer.
Phoenix, yes.
Let's see.
Okay, so taking let's make it a little harder. Taking all the X-Men and DC out of the equation, and the Wizarding world. Ooh, what's the name of the movie? The freaking with the dragon and the heart. Dragonheart.
Are you serious? You actually couldn't think of the name of the movie.
I can't remember. I can't remember. No, because he doesn't have magic powers. He just has the heart of. Never mind. He's a dragonborn.
I would say probably Merlin is a good sorcerer, not a wizard. I would definitely say sorcerer.
Because, doesn't he like? Yeah, you're right.
Because it's always implied that like he always knew his magic.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not something that you can learn. He just has it. I mean,
Jafar.
Elsa from Frozen.
Yeah, I mean she was born with those powers, and she can't control them sometimes.
Oh my god! I just fucking said that. Not everyone. That's all right.
Well, we're making it a little hard on ourselves because
Yeah, and I'm searching like the darkest crevices of my mind now.
Yeah, see, there you go. You're welcome. Ooh, 11. Oh wait, she wasn't. No, she was born with them.
She was born with them, and she did have to learn how to hone them. So I would definitely say 11 is definitely a sorcerer.
/ psionic.
I mean, psionics isn't really a published class, so we'll just lump her in with sorcerer.
Yeah, I guess so. I already said Jafar, right?
Yes, you did say Jafar.
Ooh. How about Ursula from The Little Mermaid?
Were they born with these powers? That's the thing.
I will say yes.
For the sake of the argument, yes.
Yes. I win. How about Mickey and the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Oh, no.
No, you're right. No, he's learning the magic, right?
Yeah, he's learning the magic.
Right, he wasn't born with it. All right, so now to a very completely different class. How about wizards? Definitely the Wizarding world.
Oh, shut up. Okay, the Sorcerer Supreme is a wizard because he did not have
Doctor Strange.
Yes, that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
because he did not have any sort of magic powers whatsoever until he started to learn about them. And it pisses me off to no end that he's a sorcerer and Harry Potter's a wizard.
It's a Sorcerer Supreme, bro. He's not a wizard.
I mean, I guess you could say that he was born with it because it was always in him all along. But
there's a big difference. Yeah,
I mean,
maybe wizards always have magic with just learn that to unlock it. See, so everybody's a sorcerer and everybody's a wizard. Does it even matter? Who are we? What are you talking about?
if everything's magic, nothing is magic. Think about it.
Whoa. Maybe. Whoa. Fuck. I was gonna say Doctor Strange. Okay. With
Attack of opportunity blows your fucking mind.
whoa, man. Oh, how about the lady in red? Is she? Wait, hold on. Is she a cleric?
Melisandre?
Yeah.
I would say she's a warlock.
Or more of a warlock. Warlock. Yeah.
I would definitely say
Oh,
she's a warlock.
but isn't it the god of light like an actual good god? She just does like some shady shit to make things happen.
It's not really determined if it's a Lord of Light's good or not.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, also think about it. There is now also an official warlock subclass that does use like angels and stuff like that.
Oh, I got the perfect wizard, Chris Angel.
He's a real life wizard. I don't know how he does those tricks.
Yeah, exactly. See? Why do people still listen to us?
They don't.
Yeah, who am I kidding? It's just me clicking the link over and over again.
I see a lot of people, and I'm going to make an argument here. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, Gandalf's a wizard." No, he is not.
He's a sorcerer, right? Because he's.
I would actually argue he's a warlock, a Pact of the Blade warlock at that, because he doesn't really use that many spells.
You're right. He kicks everybody's butt.
Yeah, but he goes in there, proverbial guns a-blazing. But also, when he does use a spell, it's clearly casted at the highest level possible because he kills with one of them.
Yes. Ooh, I got another good sorcerer for you. You ready? Matilda.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's outside of DC, Marvel, and the Wizarding world. What's up? I know things.
Oh, never mind. You said outside of DC. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Would Green Lantern be a wizard? Or am I thinking too much into this?
I don't think he's a wizard. I think he's more of like a fighter with a really powerful magical ring. Because himself doesn't have any powers and he doesn't study or he just has a very powerful magical item.
It's true. I will. Okay, I will concede that.
Yeah, exactly. I know more. No, I don't.
Okay, well, if you know more, give me a cleric then.
Too far, man. You can't put me on the spot like that. I don't have any clerics. Let's move on to the next one. How about a warlock?
Oh, we already kind of went over that. Next.
Wait, who did we say was a warlock? Melisandre?
Gandalf.
And Gandalf. But this, I guess he does.
Let's see. Okay, so a warlock is someone who gets their powers from somebody else.
Right.
And is more or less using that power. If we had listeners, I would get a lot of hate mail saying Gandalf's a warlock. Because it's probably like, well, he's actually a Maiar, which means that...
Right.
Who gives a fuck?
Wait, hold on. So, okay. So how about this? Somebody who gets their power from somebody else, right? And uses that power. Would Green Lantern be a warlock?
No, we just went over that.
Maybe the ring is to somebody else. I don't know.
Maybe the ring is somebody else.
Oh shit! Oh, warlock. Hold on. There has to be. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think of like somebody who talks to themselves in their head. Psycho. No.
Would John Constantine be a warlock?
Ooh, that's a good example because he gets his power. No, because he doesn't have powers. He just works. Well, no, that's fine. Maybe he just rolled really shitty on his cantrips. He doesn't have anything.
It's true. I mean, he could just be really bad. I mean, nobody said he had to be good. He just is.
Yeah, because he gets his powers essentially from the devil, right? To pay
Well,
his.
I'm not entirely sure. He gets his powers from a lot of shady things.
Yeah. Who else talks to himself a lot in the movie?
Hmm.
Kylo Ren. Every voice you've heard in your mind was me.
Okay, we're not talking about that. If you really, we can, but
no. That's gonna. We have a goal with this episode, Andrew. Is there a movie of somebody just that talks to themselves?
Okay, so they don't have to be schizophrenic. That's not what a warlock is.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Whoops.
Oh, shit. Somebody that talks to themselves, that's what a warlock is.
Delete.
I would say probably, okay, if Gandalf's not a warlock, I would definitely say Saruman is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mainly because he's evil.
Who else gets powers from somebody else? Shazam gets powers from somebody.
Samwise Gamgee?
What?
It's Sam, right?
Why would he get powers from somebody else?
I thought you were saying like he gets powers from his friends, and that makes him a warlock.
No, but Shazam.
Oh, Shazam!
Yeah. Sorry, not Sam. Shazam.
I was like, well, I mean, that's a bit of a leap, but yeah, we can go there.
Who else?
I would argue.
Ooh, how about? Have you seen the Book of Eli?
Yes.
How about that dude?
Eli?
Everything that he is because of his god. He couldn't even see.
Spawn.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
And then he has like amazing abilities.
Spoilers to a movie that's like 20 years old.
Yeah. So, Spawn is good. That's a good one.
Yeah, I would say Spawn is definitely a warlock.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Let's move on.
No, wait. Johnny Blaze.
Oh, duh. How did we not come up with that one?
I don't know, because maybe because we're drunk.
With one beer. That's how much of a lightweight we are, guys.
A cheap date, sir. And I am proud of that.
All right, good. Yeah, no, that's a good one. All right. So, how about Rangers?
Oh, dude, we could talk all day about Rangers. Okay, let's just get
Legolas.
No, actually, I would argue he's not a Ranger.
Green Arrow. Wait, what do you mean Legolas is not a Ranger?
He is not a Ranger.
He knows the wilderness. He's really light on his feet. He uses a bow and arrow. He can see really far away.
No, he's not a Ranger. He is a dex-based fighter that dipped into Ranger a bit.
Okay, so how about Homeboy from the main character dude guy that's like really shady and shit. Man, Aragorn? I just said so many bad words in like 2 seconds.
You're talking about Aragorn.
Aragorn, yes.
No, not Aragon. Aragon's that movie about the dragon.
Oh, yes. Aragorn or whatever.
Aragorn. Yes.
Yes,
that dude is the poster boy for Rangers. So much so that at least everybody has once tried to copy his introduction scene in a campaign, complete with bartender go, "We don't know him. He only goes by Strider."
How about Jon Snow? He has a pet wolf. Dire wolf, to be precise.
He does have a pet companion, and he actually does.
I mean, he uses sword and he uses bow and arrow too. But like, you know, the Rangers can use swords. And
he does have. No, he doesn't have superpowers, but I would say Jon Snow is definitely a ranger. The only thing is that I guess when he got resurrected by the Lord of Light, he forgot how to talk. Because he only had like 2 lines in season 8.
I don't know what you're talking about. Season 8 was a perfect season.
Oh, shut up.
No, we're not going down that road. Stop.
You just made me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
I don't think anybody can say that with a straight face. Not even the people who worked in that season.
Oh, God, no. Did you?
Yeah, I saw the videos. No, let's not talk about that.
Okay, we're not going to talk about it.
No, we're not talking about it.
I don't want to talk about it either. Why are we still talking about it?
I'm trying to think of another good ranger, like a good representation of a ranger.
Good representation of a ranger.
Would Link be a ranger, or it's more of a fighter?
I would argue that well, first of all, it's a video game character. You're breaking the
Oh
rules.
shit, breaking the rule. You're right. Okay.
Let's see. And it's really hard because Aragorn like destroys that category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's essentially a perfect ranger.
All right, moving on.
All right. Let's see. What's next? Bard.
We've really gone off the rails here.
Yes, we're already 3 hours in. So it's not going back now, Andrew.
Wait, are you serious?
No.
Oh god.
We are about an hour and 17 minutes in, but remember we spent like the first 30 minutes just talking shit. So.
Oh shit, Daryl from Walking Dead.
Duh.
I would say he's a ranger.
Yeah, because he's a survivalist for sure.
And he knows how to use a crossbow.
Yep. There you go. So how about a bard? Dandelion.
Ah!
I got it first.
Shit.
Now you have to come up with another one.
The guy. Okay, so not Mickey during The Sorcerer's Apprentice, but the guy playing the music during the scene of A Sorcerer's Apprentice. The guy that plays the music in Fantasia. That's the bard.
It's a hell of a bard. I'm trying to think of like.
Okay. Oh, what's the dude's name? Oh God, from Road to El Dorado.
Oh, of course, the perfect bard rogue combo.
Is it Tulio?
I guess so. Everybody knows who you're talking about. The guy with the blonde dude.
Yeah, the dude with the ukulele.
Yeah, guy.
That's 100% a bard.
How about this one? That one episode of SpongeBob when SpongeBob is delivering a pizza.
Yes.
Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. He found. Oh wait, no, that's and he dipped a little bit into Ranger because he found food and the rock and whatever, and he got him and the Squidward out of that.
Yeah, it's not a boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
The pioneers used to these bad boys for miles.
Oh, who else? Ooh, are you ready for this one? Jack Black in the Pick the Destiny.
I was just about to say Jack Black. Like they're bards.
They're the best bards.
They fight off the devil with the power of music.
Yep.
Ah, man.
There you go. I win. Case closed. Let's move on.
Literally anybody in a music video is a bard.
Oh, how about Star-Lord?
I see him as more of a rogue that has proficiency with singing.
Well, he's always like hyping his team and shit. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much to it.
He did get an Infinity Stone through a dance contest. Exactly.
See? It's a hell of a performance check.
That is true. That is something that you would have to have proficiency in to win an Infinity Stone in a dance contest.
How about Druid?
I would say the perfect example of a druid, and I had spent all day thinking of like examples, and we've gone so far off the rails that now it's going to sound weird that I'm sounding like serious. I would say probably the perfect example of a druid for me would be, and we're going back to Lord of the Rings, I'm sorry, would be Bjorn from The Hobbit, which I don't know if you remember who that was. But he was essentially the really big, hairy guy that they find in the woods, and like he gives them shelter and whatnot, but he can also like turn into animals and stuff like that.
Shit, I can't
For
remember.
me, that's a druid.
Oh, the guy with bird poop in his head.
No, that's Radagast. He's also a druid to me. Just
Sorry,
Bjorn.
I'm really bad with names.
Bjorn's a Circle of the Moon druid, and Radagast a Circle of the Land druid. Let me see if I can pull up.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Are we talking about druids or are we talking about bards?
Talking about druids. I thought you said you were talking about druids.
That's what I said. What are you talking about?
I was talking about druids.
How about poison ivy?
Is poison ivy a druid?
How about Moana?
Yes. I can definitely argue that Moana is a druid. And it really annoys me whenever I see like a homebrew class for like Moana, it's like, oh, she's a barbarian. I'm like, no, she's a druid. Okay.
Moana barbarian?
Yeah.
Why would you say a barbarian?
I don't know. Captain Planet.
I mean, wouldn't every like Disney princess be a druid since they talk to animals and they always help them?
I would say I would argue Moana is a druid, but I would definitely say Maui is a druid.
Definitely. Yep.
100% Maui is a druid because the dude changes shapes for God's sake. You know?
Is that what druids do?
Yes, that's like that's the only thing that druids are good at.
Yeah.
So
all right. I can't believe we haven't spoken about this one. Yeah, that's because he wasn't on the list until just now. Barbarian.
Okay.
Logan.
Yes. I would definitely say Logan's a barbarian.
Hulk.
Yes, definitely. Now, here's a surprising one. This is actually something I realized a lot of people talk about, oh, well, again, going back to Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God, do you have any other movies?
No, Lord of the Rings is perfect.
Listen, I love Lord of the Rings as much as the next guy, even more because I've seen them back to back, extended edition, a whole day just sitting there. They're amazing movies. But that's kind of like low hanging fruit because it's essentially a D&D party.
Hold on a second. Just listen to what I have to say because I had a revelation.
Okay, go for it.
A lot of people say Gimli is the barbarian because he's an angry dwarf with an axe. That's not true. He's a strength-based fighter, okay, and he just has 25-foot speed. That you can't fault him for that. I would be angry too. I would say out of all that group, I would say Boromir is the barbarian. Now, follow me on this. Here's the guy where he sees an item that is known to be the destructor of men and kingdoms. And he's like, that's a weapon. That's a weapon I can use. And he's known to be the best fighter in the group. And the scene where he dies, he is literally on 0 HP and he wipes out an entire brigade of orcs. That is a barbarian that is having an undying rage.
All right, okay, I'll give you that one.
And then he doesn't die until his enemies do. He does not let himself die until he knows all the enemies are dead.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that for sure. But I have one even better.
You don't.
Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, please. He literally rages and he doesn't wear any armor. because it hurts his nipples.
That is true. I will concede. I do think that he is a barbarian. We can argue if he's a good one, but I will definitely say he's a barbarian.
Who else? I mean, there has to be like.
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
Oh, another good druid / wizard. News commander from Stranger Things and Where to Find Them. Fuck. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah, I would say he's a druid.
Yeah. All right, go on. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. A lot of people say that Conan the Barbarian is a good barbarian, but the thing about it is Conan the Barbarian is actually like really smart and like sly, and that's not what barbarians in D&D are known for. Like,
yeah,
they're known for having like explosive rage and like flying naked in the combat kind of a thing.
If anybody else, if not, we're moving forward.
That I can think of. I'm pretty sure once we're into the next topic, I'll think of something else.
All right. So, last but not least, Blood Hunter. And I know what you're saying. The best, most amazing Blood Hunter out there ever is very famous. It's got a lot of views recently. It's all over the place. People play stuff with him. Everybody's talking about it right now.
Geralt of Rivia is.
No. The Last Witch Hunter.
Starring Vin Diesel in 2015. With a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, what are you talking about? It's a great movie. Ooh, talking about Vin Diesel, I think I just thought of another rogue archetype. Another rogue. Riddick.
Yes, I would definitely say Riddick is a rogue with literal dark vision.
Yeah. But no, the Last Witch Hunter, obviously, because that's where the Blood Hunter originated from. But more recently, The Witcher, the Order of the Ghost Slayer, like you said.
Yeah, when it might be because you are cosplaying as Geralt.
I'm not cosplaying as Geralt.
You're like 5 seconds away from getting the wig, and that's okay. I'm not shaming you. I am a little bit, but still. Yeah, no. When he said, "Oh, what's a good blood hunter in popular culture?" I'm like, "Fucking really?" It's like, gee, I wonder who's a good blood hunter. I would again.
Van Helsing.
Now, I was actually gonna say I would again say probably Beric Dondarrion is probably a blood hunter because he has to use his own blood to light the sword.
Quite. Yep. That's literally what I imagine every time I light up my sword with fire in the game.
Damn! We're not using video game examples. Shit! I just thought of a really good barbarian.
Van Helsing.
Van Helsing?
For a blood hunter.
Oh yeah, Van Helsing for blood hunter, definitely. Someone that like uses monsters to fight monsters. Like, okay, hold on. When I'm thinking of like the most recent Van Helsing, the one with what's the guy's name? Hugh Jackman. Like the action movie Van Helsing. That's when I think of when I think of Blood Hunter Van Helsing.
Same.
Can I break the rules a bit? Because I had a really good example of a barbarian.
What?
But it's a video game character. Is that okay?
Fine, I guess.
It fits it to a T.
Okay, fine. Do it.
Kratos from God of War.
Yep. The biggest barbarian out there, for sure.
He canonically does not wear a shirt and is completely fueled by anger.
Pure anger and rage.
Yeah. So that's not a barbarian. I don't know who is.
I have another blood hunter for you, and he's a tiefling. Hellboy.
Is Hellboy a blood hunter?
He hunts down monsters, becoming the monster. He's literally a monster.
I wouldn't say he's a blood hunter though, because he personally does not use magic. He's immune to fire.
I don't use magic.
Oh my god. So you mean to tell me that your weapon, when it does right magical damage, is not using magic?
It's just right, okay? It's different.
Right. RITE. What? Okay. Webster's dictionary defines right as
whatever, Andrew.
No.
Trying to be cool, okay?
No. You want to be pedantic? Let's get pedantic.
No. Fine. I guess he's not really blood hunter. You're the worst.
Just saying. Like, no. I would say Hellboy is probably
the barbarian. He doesn't wear a shirt. Well, he kind of does.
I would probably just put him as a fighter.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Didn't really talk about monks.
Is he not? Oh, wow. All right. Let's add it to the list. Because I definitely did not forget.
Wait, you didn't add monks to the list?
I know. I am ashamed right now. I got one. Are you ready? Aang from The Last Airbender.
I was just about to say, like, that was right up your alley.
I know. Goku from Dragon Ball.
Literally any character from Street Fighter. Any of them. Just pick one.
Ooh. What's his name? From that movie, from the Panda and the Kung Fu. Fuck! Kung Fu Panda. Po. He's a monk.
Yeah, definitely. Are you kidding me? He's 100% a monk. We already went over that John Wick's a monk.
Yep. Batman is a little bit of monk too.
Batman's a rogue that dipped in the monk. Literally any character from a kung fu movie, Ip Man is a monk.
Rocky Balboa is a monk.
Rocky Balboa is a monk. He's a way of the open fist monk.
Who else? I mean,
Rocky Balboa is actually the guy that was like the inspiration for my monk in Waterdeep. No, because I originally just wanted him to be like a boxer, and then I sort of like, okay, he can have a little bit of kicking. I still haven't given up the idea of having a boxing monk.
How about Neo from The Matrix?
Neo from The Matrix is definitely a monk. Especially a Kensai monk. He is 100% a monk. He knows Kung Fu.
Yes. I know Kung Fu. What else? Oh, there's so many. Yeah, pretty much anybody who just punches people.
Yeah, anybody in a martial arts film is a monk.
I think that's it for the classes, isn't it?
And I think that's it for all the time we have, because Jesus.
So this was only about that. Man. Now we have a little bit of time. Fuck it. Nobody's listening to us anyway. Let's keep going.
We can rant about whatever the hell we want.
All right, let's quickly go to a couple of party dynamics in pop culture, because we mentioned a bunch of them, but we never really like talk about it. And it's gonna be like a quick. I'll mention it, and you tell me what they are. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy. You already said Rocket Raccoon is an artificer.
Rocket Raccoon's an artificer.
Go.
Gamora is a dex-based fighter. Drax is barbarian. Quinn is a bard/rogue, maybe like a rogue that dipped in the bard with. And I'm not entirely sure what Groot is. I would probably say at the very least an Oath of the Ancients paladin.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, okay. He heals.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't heal. Yeah, he does heal. He's a cleric. We found a cleric.
We did it.
He's only took like 2 hours.
You have to edit in the sound of applause.
I got you, fam. All right. The Avengers, specifically Endgame. No, that's too many.
No.
Oh, fuck it.
Oh, God. Okay, so I am the...
Doctor Strange.
Wizard. Thor. Paladin. Iron Man. Artificer. Captain America fighter.
Paladin. Scarlet Witch.
Sorcerer.
Quicksilver. Even though he's dead.
Quicksilver, dead.
How about Thanos? Did I break you?
Oh, I would have to say it is Thanos. This is probably like a golem because nothing can hurt him.
Yeah. Ant-Man.
Ooh.
Like a rogue artificer, maybe?
Yeah, I would say rogue artificer mix that relies on gadgets.
Yeah. We already said Black Widow is a rogue. Who am I missing? Hawkeye.
He's a ranger.
What else? Is that all the main Avengers?
I would say Hawkeye's either a ranger or a dex-based fighter with archery. Hulk is a barbarian. Oh, hold on. I know we're missing one. Black Panther is a dex-based fighter.
Yep, definitely.
No, he's a monk. Because he fights with his hands.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
He's a monk.
He glows at you.
Winter
Soldier. Definitely fighter, right?
Definitely fighter. 100% fighter. He almost exclusively uses a gun.
How about Fury?
Fury. Oh, Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say he's a rogue.
Yeah, me too.
He's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is a monk / artificer.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Lights and gadgets.
Oh, okay. Man, I want really.
The one with the hair, the thing, and the golden, and the superpowers, and the thing, and the superhero thing. Wow, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel, I would say she's a paladin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Only say she's a paladin.
How about Valkyrie?
Valkyrie.
She could be a fighter cavalier or cavalier. Yeah. Does it called chivalry? No, what cavalier? Right.
Calvary.
That's the one with the mount. The one in Xanathar. Oh well, let's keep going. Loki.
Rogue.
Specifically, Rogue.
No, Loki is a trickster domain cleric.
Why? He doesn't heal.
Doesn't heal, but he uses his godlike powers to trick people all the time.
Huh. I was gonna say Rogue trickster or whatever the hell. There's a also.
That blew your fucking mind. You're welcome.
Yeah, you did. We found another cleric. How about
a War Machine? That's the one I'm not entirely sure of.
How about what's it called? The Master? Is that what it is? The Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, he's a bard.
Yep.
Definitely a bard. This is adventures. Now you're talking about like Thor Ragnarok.
Sorry, I couldn't understand it's Goldblum, so Jeff Goldblum.
Anything with Jeff Goldblum, he's a rogue because he steals my heart.
Ah. What a puto.
Hey, man.
The Wasp would just be another rogue with Artificer, right?
Yes.
How about Falcon?
Falcon.
How about Mantis? That's a good one. Because Falcon could be just like a fighter with gadgets too, Artificer.
I would say Mantis is probably...
Is she a cleric?
I would argue she's a sorcerer.
Okay.
With those powers. I can also argue that Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 specifically was a warlock because he got his powers from Ego.
Yeah, it's true.
And then after Ego died, he lost his powers. Spoilers, by the way.
Lame. Okay. All right. So next party dynamic. Stranger Things.
Okay. Hopper's a barbarian. Let's just get that out of the way.
Yep, it's definitely a barbarian.
Hopper's the barbarian because he somehow always finds himself in over his head and he comes out squeaky clean.
Yep. Well, except for the ending of whatever. Spoilers. How about we already said 11 is kind of like a sorcerer, right?
Yeah, 11's a sorcerer. I would.
How about?
What's
Go
up?
ahead,
No.
Mike.
Ugh. I would say Mike is. Well, he's just a kid, so but he is kind of sneaky. I'd probably put him as a rogue.
I can agree with that. I can consider a rogue for sure. Okay.
I would say Steve is a fighter. Who
a really bad fighter, but he's a fighter.
Hold on. Hear me out. He's a fighter who put most of his stats into Constitution. Because that dude can take a beating.
Yep. Dustin is definitely a bard, right?
Dustin's definitely a bard.
Lucas, ranger.
Lucas is the ranger.
All right, we're on the same page. How about Jonathan and Nancy?
What would you say, John? I would say Jonathan specifically is a ranger.
I was thinking the same. And Nancy, I see her as a little bit of a fighter because she adapts quickly.
She's also inquisitive.
Yeah, but not as much as Mike and the other kids. Oh, wait. No, yeah. All right, let's move on. You put the next one down the list is Lord of the Rings. Do you really want to go over that? Because every single you put every single character in the list above.
Oh, I can't help it that it fits so well.
Oh yeah, I wonder why.
All right, look. Okay. We still haven't gotten over the fact that all of the hobbits are rogues, except for Sam, who is a fighter.
Okay, let's move on. You're not allowed to talk about Lord of the Rings anymore. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite, most underrated movie ever. Recent memory is Dread, like the 2017 Dread or whatever that one came out.
Yes, the one with Paul Urban.
Yeah, so it's essentially two of them, really. I mean, Dread and the girl that's with him. So Dread is specifically like the hardcore paladin, like lawful good paladin.
Oh, I would not say he's lawful good.
What would you say he is?
I would say he's lawful neutral. Because he does not give a shit if you're stealing to feed your family. He cares that you broke the law.
I'm the law. Oh wait, that's the wrong. That's the wrong Dread. Okay, neutral good. Yeah, no, you're right. Because he will kill you either way.
Yeah, I would say he is the definition of lawful neutral. He cares about the law first, morality comes second.
Yeah.
So.
And then the girl, she was more of a trainee, but the way she acted in that movie, I think she started as a paladin, right? Like a baby paladin, but then she she evolved into what? Like a rogue towards the end?
She multi-classed into rogue. She somehow had enough dexterity.
Yeah, I mean, she got out of the way when she needed to. So there's that. Oh man, that movie was so underrated. God, that was such a good movie.
I know, and it was so unappreciated too.
Because that was like actual dread, you know? Like that was good.
Not the Sylvester Stallone crap.
Hey, I still enjoyed that one. It's so cheesy, but it's great.
Yeah, but they made a mistake of taking off his helmet. You never take off his helmet.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So since we are running low on time, I'm gonna go through the next chapter real quick. And it's a list of Dungeons and Dragons episodes on popular TV shows. Are you ready for this, Andrew? I'm gonna educate you because apparently you haven't seen any of this, you freaking caveman.
Well, I spend most of my time playing Dungeons and Dragons, not watching.
Yeah, not even that. So get away from me.
Okay.
All right. So my most favorite one that I always watch, and I used to watch the episodes over and over again before I had to run the game back in the day, was the two Advanced Dungeons and Dragons episodes. The two Dungeons and Dragons episodes for Community. The first one is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
It's
So the first one it's the season 1, episode 14, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And it does such a great job at introducing people of like the silliness of Dungeons and Dragons and breaks away from the whole like super serious stuff. The basic plot is that the community group, finds this kid who seems that he's going to commit suicide, and then he entrusts his books to Jeff, which is kind of like somebody who like tried to talk to him because he saw the signs of danger. Jeff makes a game to try to like make the guy who's trying to kill himself, or who's going to commit suicide, feel more involved. And they play Dungeons and Dragons, and it was amazing. And go watch it. You will not regret it. Even if you haven't seen any of the other episodes, you can watch that and get a good feel for how the show is. Later, 4 seasons later, in episode 10, season 5, episode 10, they do another one called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And it's the most hilarious shit I have ever witnessed. That's season 5, episode 10, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And it has Mickey from Breaking Bad in it, playing he plays a criminology teacher, and it's hilarious because it's just his dry humor. He's like, "Oh, I've been in many wars experiences that he puts into Dungeons and Dragons." It's fantastic.
The one thing I remember is him going, "Wait, these guys can talk."
Talking about goblins, yeah. It's like, I want 2 of them taken alive for interrogation, and it's like the funniest shit ever. If I could ever play Dungeons and Dragons with a person like Abed, which is the character that runs the game in the show, I will do it. The next one is the IT crowd, and I don't know if you've seen this show, Andrew, but season 4, episode 1, Jen DeFredo, and essentially all it is it's a group of IT, the IT department, and they're gonna play D&D. But there's another side story of their manager who wants to get a position as entertainment manager. What she doesn't understand is that entertainment manager means that person takes out executives into strip clubs and like very raunchy stuff, bars and hookers and cocaine and all that stuff. She doesn't know that. She just thinks it's like an actual position. So everybody keeps telling her that she can't do it. She can't do it. She can't do it. She finally gets the position, and she realizes what these guys actually like. Long story short, she introduces these like sleazy businessmen who work after like women and strippers to the 2 IT guys who are going to play Dungeons and Dragons that night, and they end up loving it. And that first are like, "Oh, this is like homework, the game or whatever," and they just like it's this really funny scene, including role playing an elven maiden and talking to his friend about his breakup, sort of real life, sort of not real life. And it's a really funny episode, and it really showcases what Dungeons and Dragons can do, and how like everybody just kind of like, if they play it, they'll probably like it. The next one down the list, Freaks and Geeks. The episode is called Discos and Dragons. I have not seen the full episode for this one, and I must confess, because Freaks and Geeks is in my list, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But Chris has told me about the episode, so I watched this one. It's pretty funny, and it's the classic story of a bunch of nerds casually invite. He's not a bully, but he's like a jock, like he's not necessarily like a nerdy dude. And at first he's apprehensive about it, but then he plays and he loves it, and it just showcases. And this came out back when, like, even before 3.5 was a thing. Whew, talking too fast. The next one is
Please, man.
the next one is The Big Bang Theory. And I'd never seen this episode, but everybody talks about it, and I'm not a big fan of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it sucks. All right, moving on.
But you can watch it. The next one is the regular show, and I remember watching this episode and laughing my ass off. And it was essentially just the 2 main characters were just kind of like, "This game sucks. It doesn't even have a board to play in." And then they just get sucked into. I can't believe you haven't seen this one, Andrew. And they just get sucked into like an actual game of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's
I probably wouldn't be surprised if I have seen it and just forgot.
You just don't remember. Yeah.
Probably.
Then, of course, Futurama, Bender's Game, amazing episode. Then Gravity Falls from Disney Channel. First of all, I recommend that show 100% to anybody who hasn't seen it. But it has a great a great Dungeons and Dragons episode called Dungeons and More Dungeons. And it's a really funny line. The Uncle Stan is just kind of like, only a game designed by nerds has charisma as a fantasy skill.
Oh man. Okay.
That's like the bit I remember the most about that episode. It was fantastic. And even like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has a Dungeons and Dragons episode called Dungeons and Discords, which, by the way, I know that like My Little Pony has a bad like a weird stigma around it because there's a bunch of, I don't want to say weirdos, but like
No. There's a bunch of weirdos.
Well, I mean, I understand it, but they take it a little too far and make other people uncomfortable, and it makes it feel inapproachable. But I used to watch My Little Pony with my first roommate because he used to like it. So I just sit, while we eat or whatever, he'll be watching it. And the show is actually pretty freaking good if you just take away the whole like kid thing. Like it's actually really funny, like adult funny.
Jose, if we get a lot more subscribers after this particular part in the episode, I'm gonna be real upset.
All I'm saying is My Little Pony is not as bad as, and it has a Dungeons and Dragons episode. So this list just showcases that even in shows that have nothing to do with like fantasy and like nerdy stuff, there's almost always a Dungeons and Dragons episode. Even I remember back in the olden days with A. Arnold, there was an episode with like a Dungeons Dragons-esque type game, and like it's just all over popular media.
Because it's cool now.
No, I'm telling you, like the Freaks and Geeks one, that was way before like Stranger Things. This show came out in, I gotta look it up. This show came out in 1999.
Yeah, I know Freaks and Geeks is older, but
Yeah.
you got to think this is because the creators of those shows were the ones that played it.
Yeah,
during,
exactly.
Like, Satanic Panic and stuff like that. Like,
I mean, even look at Stephen Colbert. I can't ever say his last name. Yeah, he's a huge D&D dude, and he talks about it in his show and everything, and he's devoted Catholic and everything, and he still plays it and he still remembers like fun memories. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and put Mark Mercer and Stephen Colbert. Your heart will melt.
For the Red Nose Day where they have the one-on-one D&D session.
Oh, dude, that was such a good video. Oof. The point is, Dungeons and Dragons is cool now. It's everywhere. It's probably going to be in many, many more episodes. And I think one of the shows that did it really good justice and brought a lot of people in was actually, funny enough, Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, Stranger Things definitely propelled it into the mainstream media. But here's the thing, Jose. There was one discrepancy in your statement.
What?
You said Dungeons and Dragons is cool now. It's not cool now. It's always been cool. People are just not.
That's true. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Because one thing that most of these episodes that I'm showing right now have in common, actually, I think all of them, is that there's always like one character that introduces the concept of Dungeons and Dragons. Everybody else is just kind of like, oh, that sounds nerdy. Oh, that sounds hard. Oh, that's too much math. Oh, this is lame. This is for nerds. And then towards the end, everybody's having a blast, and it's amazing.
There's always that moment in the D&D episode where like the jock character realizes halfway through he's having a good time.
Yeah, and then the nerds realize, or the nerds quotations, realize that the jock or the bully or whatever, is actually a cool person. It's not just like it's a human moment and all of that brings people together. And that's why every time there's a show and there's a Dungeons and Dragons episode, I want to watch it. Because deep down inside, you know that those episodes exist. It's because most of the people that are writing it used to play Dungeons and Dragons back in the day, and they always wish that there was a moment like that in real life.
They had a moment like that.
Yeah, they had a moment like that, and that's what happens. Like that literally is what happens. You know, because like even people that or Vashti, for example, even Theresa, because let's be honest, like Theresa, while she wants to play, she understands that it's a time commitment. She doesn't want to commit to such a long time. But like they played it for the first time and they had a good time. But they were honest with themselves, like, yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Oh
but
no, she is the perfect example because she actually like oh my god, you play Dungeons. I'm like, yeah, are you kidding me? Fuck yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons. And I vividly remember her saying something like, I'm sorry, I can't imagine you sitting at a table playing this. I'm like, give it a try. Just give it a swing. And she completely changed her mind on it. You know, like I'm not saying it happened overnight, but she definitely warmed up to it.
Right.
Which,
yeah.
you know, which to me is what these episodes like perfectly encapsulate. It's the whole just give it a session, you know? Like just try it and see how you feel about it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I've experienced it myself. Mine's a little bit different because everybody wanted to play. So like, but at the end they realized that they liked it, and then they liked it so much they want to continue playing. Like it was more than what they expected, even though they already had high expectations. So it works both ways. But yeah, those are like my main encounters with Dungeons and Dragons in pop culture. You know, and I've seen a lot of these episodes even before I knew about Dungeons and Dragons. For crying out loud, there's you know the game Fable, right?
Hmm?
I think it's in the second Fable 2. There is a whole submission where you get shrunken down into a miniature-sized version of yourself, and these sorcerer guys, put you on a table, and you're playing a game within a game, and it's hilarious because they're like the commentary of the players, because you look up and you see the players in like real life size, you know, sorcerers or whatever they were. I can't remember right now. That shrunk you down to the table. They're playing their Dungeons and Dragons, but you're just in it too as well. And so you have to like, it's just like essentially like two dungeon masters trying to like figure out the best dungeon, and they have like when the enemies pop up, it's actually a pug, no, it's not like an actual miniature, it's like a little cutout. So you have to like fight it. It's pretty cute.
God, I'm remembering. Yeah, I do remember you were fighting like minis.
Yeah, like miniatures. Yeah. And it wasn't like you weren't in trouble, you weren't gonna die or anything. It was like a very silly sub quest, and you just like finish the game, and they just pop you out like, oh god, he made it. It was hilarious. It was that quirky English humor too in it.
I don't know. I don't know if you're like a huge fan of Borderlands or whatnot, but Borderlands 2 has a DLC that is literally a Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
That's awesome.
I like
the concept of Borderlands. I just can't play it because I'm not a big fan of looter shooters.
That's fine. I completely understand. But the whole idea is that when you start the prompt to start the DLC is someone inviting you over to a game of their version of Dungeons and Dragons, which is called Bunkers and Badasses. And it transitions, and you are in a village, and you have to like save a princess and stuff like that. And it's literally Dungeons and Dragons.
That's awesome.
Just with guns.
That's legit.
So,
man.
And the very first thing that happens is you fight a dragon and you TPK. So,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's a lot out there. And just a lot of people don't realize what it is, you know, because a lot of times they don't call it Dungeons and Dragons. They call it something completely different, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's just that name, bro. That 70s Static Panic still has a stigma up to this day.
That's what I'm saying, man. I bet you I could trick my family into playing it by making them play Pathfinder instead.
Probably. But I think, do you have anything else? Anything?
No, I think I'm good. Unless you want to talk about session highlights.
Oh, we haven't done session highlights in a while. Yeah, let's throw it in there. See if this time I will leave it.
Well, I mean, we did do session highlights last time. It was just for the Rick and Morty thing.
True.
So,
hey, go. You're the DM. Do you have any in mind?
I would. The two that really spring to mind is one where Vesemir abandons Small Drax.
I almost forgot about that.
He's like, I'll be right back. And Small Drax is like, okay. And
Well,
Vesemir's
you have to tell him what happened, like why.
Okay. So the context is they're at a grove of a Golthias tree, which is essentially a tree that spawns the Blight's enemy or Blight enemies. And they're trying to cut the tree down to prevent a ritual and stuff like that. And the tree is defending itself by spawning a bunch of these Blights. So they are literally coming out of the woodwork. And yeah, I know. And the Vine Blights are using their grasping vines, and they've locked down almost everybody. Surprisingly, you were the only person that passed their strength save. I was expecting a couple more people to pass, but I guess not.
My beefy boy.
Yeah, so everybody was locked down except for you. They were targeting Lilith specifically because she was the one trying to cut it down, because she was the one that was trying to stop the ritual for her own personal backstory thing. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna go help Lilith. You were with Small Drax, and you're like, I'll be right back. And Small Drax is like, okay. And then the next 3 turns were Blights that were targeting that specific area. So they all just like, well, Vesemir's not here. I guess I'll just get Small Drax now. and they all just unloaded on Small Drax. So it's like, you're like, I'll be right back. Okay. And then just everything explodes behind you.
Because I know that I guess I didn't take into account that they're rolling with advantage. Because he's like pinned. I imagine him. He's like pinned down on the floor, and because in my head I'm like, oh, he's a cleric. He's a beefy boy, and he has like, he's a lizard folk. So I'm like, I'll be right back because I'm gonna go take care of. I'm gonna try to like take the hits for the squishy ones, and like I just imagine Vesemir running away, and as he turns back to look at Small Drax, he's just getting hounded by everything from that tree.
Yeah, because when you're restrained, all attacks made against you are with advantage.
Right.
So I was essentially hitting on everything. and so you just left Small Drax, his like arms pinned to his side, and he's just eating a hailstorm of needles just raining down on him.
Hey,
but then
he got out.
Oh yeah, Small Drax got his revenge, and I think he casted Inflict Wounds at like 3rd level because he melted that dude.
he was pissed.
But then the other session highlight for me was when you guys go into the vineyard.
Oh yeah.
Of the Wizards of Wine, and you see a single needle blight, and you're like, we fought these things before, it's fine. And then the thunder or the lightning illuminates 30 of them surrounding you, and just the look on people's faces when you're like, oh shit.
Wait, you forgot the most important part. We walk in before we even see any of the little blight things. We walk in and we're like, oh, okay. So how are we gonna do? We spend like a good 30 minutes just coming up with this plan.
I felt so bad for you guys.
Like, oh, let's get Scarecrow. Talaxia the Kenku is gonna mimic the voice of Strahd. We're gonna scare the people out of the house, blah blah blah. And we managed to do that. And I'm like, okay, guys, you do that. And I'm gonna sneak a little forward to see what I can see. And I literally stepped away from the group for not even more than 30 feet, crouching behind and I just imagine Vesemir just walking in, and it's raining and thundering, and then the flash of lightning just reveals all the blights around us. So I'm separated from the group, and then between me and the group is a freaking Scarecrow that's gonna do absolutely nothing now.
Yeah, a Scarecrow made out of burlap sacks with bones for fangs.
Because oh god, it was such a mess. Because Heather and Alex were like, oh, I'll control one arm. We had everything planned. I was like, okay, we got to do a couple of rolls.
I felt so I wanted to say something. I wanted to say like, okay, guys, don't worry about the fucking scarecrow.
Don't even say that, because I remember you perfectly saying, I couldn't wait for you guys for your plan to fall through. You're an evil DM. And then we got our.
Well, no, I mean, I played the part. I'm like, okay, so how do you guys want to do this? Like I was.
It was terrible. I almost died. Telexia almost died. Freaking Rectavio ran away, and I'm like, you freaking coward!
Do you want to know a little secret?
What is it?
Taloxia. Okay, do you remember the part where I said how much health do you have, Taloxia?
Oh. She was supposed to go down, wasn't she?
She was going to die.
Like die completely.
Yeah, like she was going to take like 30 damage below her. Like yeah.
Oh.
So
damn.
No, you're reduced to 1. I might be mean, but I'm not sadistic. I'm not gonna do this.
Well, the point is, we made it. No, that was awesome though. That was like legit terrifying.
Yeah,
and like, well, the thing is, like the day before we had a conversation about like not pulling punches, and you're like, oh, like I want to try to do this, but I'm like, dude, in message, I'm like, dude, you just told me you weren't gonna pull punches, and then now you're talking about pulling punches. Like, just go with it. Well, that's what me and my big mouth gets us.
Yeah, I was like, no, Jose, you don't understand.
But like, so from my point of view, don't ever pull punches. Like that was like actually like terrifying. Like if you're gonna pull punches, do like what you did with Telexia. Like try to like that. What you did there was perfect, because I didn't know. Like nobody knew. Now everybody knows. So
well, I mean, yeah, and now that everybody knows, I can't use that trick again, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like
everybody gets 1.
Yeah.
So.
But no, that was great. Like don't pull punches. Like that was fantastic. And I guess we just didn't cue into Rictavio's clue of running into the freaking house. But whatever.
Well, yeah, no, because Rictavio's like, barricade yourselves behind, in the winery, and Lilith's like, what? Do a bombing run on the blight?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I love the smell of maple in the bar. So wait, didn't you fail it though?
No. She failed the first one. No. Because the first one was just her throwing, and she rolled a natural 1. So I just like, I did the thing where she lets go too soon, and it like rolls off the back of her hand and explodes behind her. But then the second one she passed on. So yeah. So meanwhile, all along the watchtower's playing, she just dives in on these blades. How do I hear Fortunate Son?
Yeah, I know. That's the only one I know from memory.
No, I know. It's just like that's what the blights are saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that song. Oh, but no, that was a great session though. Oh man. Anything else?
No, I think that's it. I think we're ramping up for our next session of Curse of Strahd, which.
And as always, if you want to join us, we are. So far, we've been doing pretty good about every Wednesday. Usually 6:30 to around 10. If you want to come watch us, we are live on Twitch.
It's supposed to be 6:30 to 9:30, but that never ends up like that.
Yeah, but whatever. We're live on Twitch. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our YouTube channel. I have like a backlog of videos to upload, so I'm probably gonna do that like tomorrow. So you don't miss out on any of our content, and I promise we will get back on schedule and release 2 episodes per month.
Yeah, it's just a really rough transition period.
Yeah,
so,
but once again, thank you.
Turns out moving into a house is a lot more involved than you would think.
Oh yeah, I wonder why. But yeah, thank thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening to our annoying voices and our crazy stories. Don't forget to follow us, keep in touch with us, and we will see you in hopefully 2 weeks.
Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify. Do we have an Instagram?
We do have an Instagram, yep.
How about a Twitter?
We do have a Twitter too.
Okay. Yeah, all that good stuff.
We have all the social medias. Just look for a talk of opportunity.
Use them. Yeah.
Also, Podbean, if anybody actually listens through Podbean, that's our hosting.
Dozens of us that use Podbean.
Yes, but thank you. You guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope you keep gaming and keep adventuring and moving forward. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Good night.